Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my final NFL preseason reactions. This is it. One more time of this fake football stuff, and we're going to be back into the real stuff just 2 weeks from now because we have that stupid break in between. This is going to go just like the previous two videos. Certain games I watched a lot more than others, but I'm going to do my best to give a little bit of input for each game. Couple of plugs before we hop right into it. Don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 wager on Prize Picks after using code Wyatt's World at sign up. Like I said, I think this week we're going to do a second NFL lock video, so if you don't quite know what to do on Prize Picks yet or how it works, just wait for that video and you should have a great understanding. But that's all I got for plugs. Let's get into the preseason reactions finale. Alright, so first game we had was the Colts beating the Bengals, and just a quick take on the Bengals this preseason, I genuinely don't think they cared at all. I think they wanted to make it to the regular season as healthy as they possibly could, and I don't blame them. But I want to point that out because despite them going 0-3, I'm not very concerned about them at all. Now, when it comes to Indy, the big talk there is obviously Anthony Richardson, and I did watch him play this game, and I really don't know what to expect because he started off the game so good. I think, what did he go, 7 for 8 right down the field, hitting A.D. Mitchell for a touchdown, and then kicks off the next drive with one of the most disgusting pick sixes I think I've ever seen, preseason or not. I think he'll be a good player, but I also think there's a chance we see almost a Jameis Winston season out of him this year, where he has like 22 touchdowns and 22 picks. Next game we got was the Bears beating the Chiefs, and yeah, no. As soon as I heard Caleb wasn't playing, I was out, bro. I wasn't gonna watch it. I knew the Chiefs weren't gonna have anybody good in there. I just had no reason to care here. Would also like to point out that, again, despite going 0-3, much like the Bengals, I have little to no concern at all about the Chiefs. The amount of effort they gave this preseason was about the amount of effort Jamarcus Russell gave to the Raiders when they drafted him. And when it comes to Chicago, don't get too big-headed. You guys are 3.5-0. That rain saved you guys the first game. You know it! Moving on, we have the Jags blowing out the Falcons 31-0. I know I was just saying I didn't have concerns about the Chiefs or the Bengals being 0-3 after the preseason, so I don't want to be, you know, mean to the Falcons here, but I do have concerns about Raheem Morris, man. It ain't like you guys were playing all your starters, but 31 rip 0-3? Holy shit. And not to mention whatever happened to Taylor Heineke. Like, he was never an elite quarterback or something, but he was a lot better than what we saw yesterday, and I think what we've seen from him this preseason. As far as Jacksonville, I think their quarterback room is continuing to impress. Both Trevor and Mac had great days. The team had 9 different rushers throughout the day. Got to see Trevor and Brian Thomas link up for a super nice gain, and we also got to see Evan Ingram go on and continue to prove why he is absolutely a top 10, arguably a top 5 tight end in the league. I think Trayvon Walker had a sack too. He did. Trayvon had a good day. Also, anybody else see Adrian Amos is on the Jags now? I forgot entirely about him. He went to the Jets last year and I never heard his name once. Moving on, we got the Bucks beating the Dolphins, and I have a tiny victory lap to take, and that's just on what I said last week, and I know it's only preseason, but Kyle Trask will be a fantastic backup, and one day will have a shot to be a starter somewhere. It's just not yet. Dude, he appears to have it all, man. He can throw on the run, he can improvise, he can drop buckets in the corner of the end zone. I'm not sure if he has a super strong arm or not, but it appears to be good enough. Can also tell his confidence is growing game by game, too. Like, dude, if Baker gets hurt and he comes in this year, he is going to light it up. Couple of quick takes out of Miami that I got, and this is just general observation. I know it's preseason, but to me, it looks like your O-line might be a little bit of an issue this year. And I mean an issue for you. And also, for those who haven't heard yet, Skylar Thompson has officially won the backup job because after this game, Mike White was cut. All right, moving on to the next game, we have the 49ers and the Raiders tying. I mean, if you haven't seen the last play to this game, you have to go look it up. It's just pure fucking chaos for like a minute. It's insane. Other than an actual play, though, I can't act like I watched a lot of this. I was actually with my cousins on Friday. But I would like to point out that I did see Brock Purdy's interception, and he's just flat out ass. I'm kidding. Take a joke. He couldn't have thrown a better fucking ball. The receiver just couldn't haul it in. It got bobbled and picked. I wanted to piss some people off, though. Also, Josh Dobbs had a really nice touchdown pass. And it also does surprise me on San Francisco's end to see how hard they went on the final week of preseason. Like, they also played Kittle and Debo. And Leonard Floyd. Shanahan don't give a fuck. All right, moving on, we got the Vikings blowing out Philly, but it doesn't really mean much because Philly put about as much effort into this as I would say Johnny Manziel put into effort with the fucking Cleveland Browns. Was nice to see Jaren Hall look extremely good on the Vikings, though. He manned the ball for 90% of the game. He's going to be a fantastic backup. He has a chance to start this year. It's just I don't think he'll have any shot to run JJ out of office when he comes back. Myles Gaskin, to me, all preseason, all training camp, he looked to be very productive. And also, Will Rijkaard, like, he might actually be the greatest kicker of all time. Just throwing it out there. In terms of Philly, though, and their offense, like I said, no disrespect, but I don't give a fuck because you guys also didn't give a fuck. Like, honestly, I don't even know if your coaches and starting lineup showed up to this team or not. They might have all been sleeping. Moving on, we got the Ravens getting destroyed by the Packers. I feel really terrible and lousy about this one, but again, just not an ounce of care was given into this game from me. Baltimore, they haven't played anybody all preseason who I give a shit to actually watch. In Green Bay, I think they got some starters out in like game 1 or something, but it seems like the last 2 games also have been just complete snooze fest from me. I know they're throwing up points, but I would rather watch other games than Ellis fucking Merriweather, Malik Heath, Emmanuel Wilson, Bo Melton, and Sean Clifford play. I'm just sorry. Now moving on, we have the Lions beating the Steelers, and I will say, Lion fans, I took your advice, and I watched Hendon Hooker this week, and yeah, I gotta admit, he is a dog. Not only can that guy run really efficiently, not only can he break tackles, but this guy throws heat-seeking fucking missiles. Some of them are a little bit wild, they're not always on the money, but he is a damn good-looking quarterback. Like Detroit, you guys might have an elite backup. In terms of the Steelers, again, I don't want to sound like hypocritical on you guys, but I am a little bit more concerned about you than teams like the Bengals or the Chiefs, because I still, right now, don't think you guys have a fucking clue as to who is going to be the starting quarterback for your team. And even when you do come to that decision, I don't think it's going to be a smooth ride from there on out. Do want to give a shout out to Cordell Patterson, though. He had an electric touchdown run, dude. He is timeless. Now moving on, we got the Rams losing to the Texans 15-17. What a score. As you guys can probably tell by my sarcastic demeanor, I didn't give a shit to watch this game. I wasn't gonna watch Tim Boyle versus Dresser win. Will say I did see one clip from this game over and over again though, and that was Cam Akers doing the spin cycle. Like, I don't know what that was, man. It literally looked like somebody was controlling him on a PlayStation and just hitting circle rapidly. He literally looked like this. His Achilles are just gonna fall off the fucking bone again. All right, moving on, we have the Panthers beating the Bills, and this is the one I have the most shit to say about, so I'll try and make this as quick as possible. Carolina, Jake Plummer, I don't know why he ate us up, but he did. Bryce Young also looks good. I have faith in my boy. I think he's gonna have a great season. In terms of receiving, just about every single person on the Panthers who was capable of catching a ball actually caught a ball, and shout out to Jordan Matthews on celebrating not only his 80th birthday, but catching a touchdown in 2024. Now, in terms of Buffalo, number 1, huge shout out to the backups. This is much fucking better than what we have been seeing all preseason. I can actually sleep at night now. Secondly, Frank Gore Jr. deserves to make this team. Like, if he doesn't, I'm actually going to be really pissed off. He did extremely well all preseason long. He has earned it. And as for our kicker, Tyler Bascos, I'm going to be 100% honest. I love any player that's on a team I support, but that doesn't mean I won't tell you how it is when it comes to him. And if this fucking guy does not get his shit together, and I mean soon, his ass is going to be gone. Like, this is insane as to how terrible he has been over the last calendar year. I am sorry, but I gotta be honest. Enough is enough. Also, our defense in terms of stopping the run, I do feel a little bit better than I did after the first week of preseason. However, we are still far from perfect on it, but at the same time, I like to assume our starters are gonna be able to do a lot better job than our backups. Now we got the Chargers at the Cowboys. So I didn't watch this game live. Again, I was with family and watching other games at the time, but I saw the aftermath of this. And my, oh my, Mr. Trey Lance. 5 picks in a preseason game is just downright unbelievable. Now, I might sound a little bit delusional here when I went back and watched his highlights. I can say that he actually did have some decent plays. He had a really nice run. I mean, shit, the guy had over 400 total yards. But the fact of the matter is that there were some really horrendous plays again in this game. And Trey Lance as a whole is still nowhere near that number 3 overall pick value that San Francisco drafted him at years ago. Like, he might legitimately be one of, if not the biggest busts in NFL history. He's only started 4 games. Let this be a lesson, I guess, on NDSU quarterbacks. Trey Lance, Easton Stick, Carson Wentz, they don't work. Well, Carson did for a bit, but even he fell off the rails. Moving on, we got the Giants losing to the Jets. Now, despite the Jets going 3-0 in the preseason, I just got to say two things about this game. One, I didn't watch, as you could imagine. I don't think really anybody watched this game. But I do have a concern for the Jets, even though I didn't watch them. And that is the fact that Aaron Rodgers' first live game of the year is going to be against the 49ers and a raging pissed off Nick Bosa. I understand why New York didn't play Rodgers this preseason, but I almost think that they should have. Just a fucking series, a drive. I get it, he's one of the GOATs, but the regular season 49ers, they're enough to rattle anybody. Moving on, we got the Browns losing to the Seahawks, and I did see a couple clips out of this game, and to be honest, Cleveland, despite losing, actually appeared to have very good quarterback play. I mean, between Tyler Huntley and DTR, they had 4 touchdowns to 0 picks. Tyler Huntley was also really accurate. Now, as far as Seattle goes, even though I know their quarterbacks didn't have the most explosive day, I still think we got to see quite a few great things out of their offense. Obviously, one of them being Kenny McIntosh's 56-yard fucking run. But I think Jackson Smith is continuing to impress. DK Metcalf had a hell of a touchdown grab. And also, Jason Myers was on the money, 3 for 3, 100% from a long of 58. So not a bad day by Seattle at all, and not a bad preseason. Now we got the Titans at the Saints, and speaking of a great preseason, Tennessee, man, they locked up. Titans as a unit had very good quarterback play. Now they only had 2 touchdowns, both coming from Malik Willis out of his 4 attempts, but they were extremely accurate, and we also got to see Malik Willis's mobility get displayed again, as well as Tajay Spears for some reason trying to hurdle a man in a preseason game. Calvin Ridley had 2 receptions on the day. He is looking as explosive as ever. Now that doesn't mean everything, obviously, we know, but I'm still confident in this offense, man. I think when they're all starting and all clicking, they're gonna be pretty fucking deadly. In terms of the Saints, we got to see a couple of crazy plays. One of them was a crazy, like 106-yard fucking kick return. Should have been a touchdown run from Puka Nakua's brother, but he got hawked at the last second. We had Spencer Rattler once again shine, having the fans just hope he takes Derek Carr's job, but I don't think Dennis Allen's gonna let that happen this year. And also, we got to see A.T. Perry display his talent. Now, I think he should have had a touchdown, but unfortunately, it was slightly underthrown by Rattler, which caused him to get hawked at like the 2. But honestly, dude, I think deep down, the Saints might have one of the most underrated cores when it comes to speed. Their fucking room is so fast. Moving on, we got the Cardinals getting blown out by Denver. I didn't really watch any of this game because Bo wasn't playing, but I did hear through Twitter and the rest of the sports community that Zach Wilson went off, which further displays Sean Payton's ability to be able to work with any quarterback under the sun. I mean, Zach Wilson, 16 for 25, 250, 2 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Might have been his best game ever. Thing about Sean Payton, man, is he figures out what a quarterback is comfortable and good at doing, and he executes it over and over and over and over again. He found a way to make Jameis good. He found a way to make Teddy good. Found a way to make Taysom Hill good. Found a way to make Zach Wilson good. He had Russell Wilson back in decent form last year. Much as I hate the guy, he's a quarterback whisperer, man. He's like Brian Dable. And ending, we have the Patriots and the Commanders. This game I was watching in the background while making dinner and stuff. There's a couple takeaways on this one that I would like to talk about. One of them being Martavis fucking Bryant having a touchdown catch in 2024. Thought Jordan Matthews was wild. Wow. Also, I don't mean to sound like a bad or hateful person, but I'm a little bit disappointed that Trace McSorley is like doing decent again because his memes are gonna come back and they were the worst fucking memes of all time. And in terms of the Patriots, we got to see Drake May shine a little bit more. One of the biggest takeaways I have about Drake May that I just didn't really realize until yesterday is how quick he is. Like, I mean, I knew he was fast. No, he is fucking fast. It looks like his legs move at like ×4 speed when he runs out there. Another piece of info here, Jacoby Brissett, he appears to be okay, but also got a little bit rattled yesterday, probably further increasing Drake's chance to start week 1. And in terms of Joe Milton, well, I think we got to see Joe Milton on full display of Joe Milton last night. As you guys know, he's got a great arm. He can throw a rocket, but his control is dreadful. Like, for how hard he throws that ball, like the guy is way too fucking confident in his abilities. I will say this though, he is damn entertaining to watch. And that is gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen, for my preseason reactions finale. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to show any support, you already know what to do, and please do it because you know I appreciate any and all help. However, in the meantime, I'm gonna hop off and get this thing edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and as always, I will see you in the next video.